Alright. Welcome to the Highside League postseason interviews. I'm here with NaughtyMilkduds, aka the Dud, or Ashton. He was one of two rookies coming into this season alongside B Hicks. Now, Milk Duds, one thing that I noticed about your performance this season is you definitely had the biggest increase in performance as time went on. When the season started out, you were kind of, you know, riding around in the back there, just getting the feel for things. But then about a quarter of the way to about halfway through the season, you were up there running with the leaders, side by side. Even, towards the end of the season, you were contending for some wins. Did you, when you came into this league and you came into the season, were you expecting to be able to improve that much or to be able to perform that well, or were you just kind of expecting to ride around and try to learn from, the people who are already racing?
Well, definitely coming into this league, I fully expected to be running near the back the whole time, and you guys are going to be so fast and seasoned veterans that I wouldn't be able to catch you guys or be near the front. So it was definitely a huge surprise for me to be up there racing with you guys, and I feel like I owe a lot of my improvement, that drastic improvement, to just getting a feel for the car, the racetrack, and most importantly, just sharing advice and getting a lot of wisdom from you veteran drivers, and just being there racing alongside you, or racing with the veterans. I learned some tips and tricks just watching you guys go around the track in front of me. So I definitely learned a lot just by doing and looking up to you guys as mentors. So definitely a lot of thanks goes out to you guys for that. And I'm looking forward to a lot more improvement. I've still got, a lot more to learn.
Yeah, yeah, you're definitely improving, and you're definitely going to be a front runner in the coming seasons. Now, you did actually end up making the chase. You were the sixth car to make the chase, beating out actually a couple of veteran drivers to make it in. Was that something that you were prepared for? Were you expecting it all to make it into the chase, or was that just out of the blue?
Well, seeing all the drivers like that guy and Cobalt just dominating the wins, I did not expect to get any way of getting in the chase by a win. I was like, there's a slight chance I can make it in points, but having a rough week here or there, and a lot of these drivers being really good and getting the positions they did, and me getting consistent, top fives at least, or just minimum top fives. I saw it as kind of a pipe dream, but looking at that last race and in the regular season, and kind of nail biter because I was on the edge of the points to make it in, and seeing that I just barely squeaked by on Snake there, I was very excited. I know that I was freaking out, definitely after we all got off the racetrack after that night, and just I was just hooping and hollering, and it was definitely a lighthearted moment for me. I just couldn't believe it that I made it to the chase in my rookie season. That's it's major for me,
Yeah,
and definitely a milestone and achievement
yeah.
to look back on.
Now, early in the season at Las Vegas, you were a contender for the win early on in the race, probably through the first half. You were at one point three wide with the leaders. How much were you learning from running up front in traffic? Is that something that you were able to use later on in the season? Is that something that you were prepared for?
Las Vegas was I was very surprised, that early on in the season, our third race of the season. I was not expecting to find a lot of speed, and getting in there and just running something as simple as a 10-pound split and a little bit of tape taken off the car definitely gave me a big boost in speed, and I was able to keep it up there at the front and even run away with the lead for a few laps. And I was definitely surprised, and you know, is a lot of pressure being up there and having like, you know, that excitement immediately turned into a little bit of apprehension being up there and thinking, well, crap, now I got to hold this lead and not, you know, wreck half the field trying to do it. And getting into that 3 wide and definitely a tricky situation there. I learned quite a bit just from how crazy that got, and I learned to race a lot more cautious, a lot cleaner, and definitely jumping into as many practice sessions as I could during the weeks, and just going headlong into it and trying to improve. Yeah, I learned a lot, especially from the mistakes that I made during the season.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That was definitely a good race for you, and it really did look like a learning experience. And I think a lot of a lot
It
of
definitely
beginners
was.
or newcomers, when they start racing competitively, that's one of the first things they have to really try to learn is how to deal with traffic. And I think you did a really good
Yeah.
job with that.
And
Um,
I would add that at Vegas, that that for me was a signaling point, that was where I learned that I had a chance to run up there near the front, and I wasn't just going to be, you know, the tail end of the league.
Precisely. Did you start racing a little bit harder, a little bit more aggressive after that because you knew you weren't just getting in people's way, you were actually contending, and you
Oh
were
yeah, definitely. I jumped right in and after that race and tried to figure out how I could do it again every time from then on out. And it was definitely a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into trying to make that happen again and make it happen to where I could get a win.
all right. Now looking forward to the next season. Uh, I'm sure you're going to make the chase again. But first of all, do you think you're going to be able to get your first win? And second, what tracks would you like to see in the next roster of races that we're going to have if you want to have the best chances possible?
Well, I don't know necessarily if I'll make the chase. Fingers crossed, and I'm definitely going to, you know, work my butt off to get there in this next season and get some tons of practice in, especially for short tracks where I know I'm not, you know, that's one of my weak points on a lot of them.
Yeah,
I looking on to the next season. I'm definitely looking forward to tracks like Texas. I had a really fast car at Atlanta, winning the pole, and also just having the fastest car on the track at Atlanta, and feeling like I could get that win. I feel like I messed up there pretty bad and cost myself the win on that last restart, but I feel like I could definitely catch up to the leaders with a long green flag race like that. I could definitely catch the leaders and then some, and I feel like I could get a solid win there at least. So I am looking forward to my first win or maybe a couple in this next season with it being longer and getting some different tracks in there.
definitely. And to finish it off, how do you feel your relation is with the other drivers on the track? Do you feel like you made any rivals? Are you pretty friendly with everybody? Are you fairly neutral? Um, Anybody that you were angry with or that you have had bump-ins with?
I don't know, man. Do you drive with one eye on the rear view? Because I feel like you should. No, I'm kidding, man. But uh, no, you know, there was definitely some heated moments during the season. I know I know I had a couple of the veteran drivers early in the season definitely a little bit annoyed with the rookie just kind of messing things up, getting in there and not knowing what to do with himself, not knowing what to do with his hands, right? So I you know, I feel like racing with them and getting a feel for how they drive versus how I drive. I've definitely, you know, cooled them down a bit. You know, I just, you know, shout out to Snake and Alonso. You know, I'm sorry for anything I may have done. Also, you, Dirt, with Talladega. Uh, but I don't feel like there's any animosity there. I know that they're definitely there are some eyes on me after this season, and how I did in my rookie season, and there's definitely going to be a lot to look out for. But I feel like we're all going to go into this next season, just very respectful of one another, and just we may get some heated moments, but at the end of the day, I feel like all these guys, I can just hop back on the track with them, and there's not going to be anything there between us other than an appreciation of being in the league together and having some competition.
Yeah, there you have it. That was NaughtyMilkduds, aka the Dud, with his take on his season, his first season, and his ideas going forward. Thanks for watching.
Yep.
Catch you next time.